Big Dragons, we are back. So I'm really going to try to do another ALA vlog, and I'm going to kind of read a couple of books off my shelves, and I'm just in the mood to just keep reading. The vibes are vibing, and I just want to keep reading. So we are going to grab my spinner wheel, and we're going to see what prompt is going to help me pick my next book. So here is my wheel, and I hope we get a good prompt. A lot of them are a little bit... Ooh. Oh, okay. So I have to pick a cozy read. Cozy read. Okay. You know what? This, I'm gonna say, is a cozy read. It's called Wendy's Ever After, and it's kind of like the after effects of what happens after Peter Pan, but whenever I like read a retelling, it always gives me cozy vibes. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually reading like a random graphic novel that like I have. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to read this book next. This is going to be my next physical read. But I'm going to take a little bit of time and I'm going to finish that graphic novel because I do have a little bit of time tonight. And then I think I'm going to pick this book. I'm going to try to read to like the 50 page mark. So I'm going to try to read like 50 pages of this and give you guys my updates. I just don't want to fall into a slump because I'm really in the reading game and I want to keep doing that. But I think I need a little bit of a word break. So I'm going to pick up the graphic novel. I'm going to finish it. And if I'm still feeling a little bit like off, I may just read another graphic novel tonight to just kind of keep myself reading. But I'll be back when I have an update for you guys on this. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi Big Dragons. I just want to give you a quick reading update. I did wind up getting up to 25% into Wendy's Ever After by Julia Wright. I am liking this book. I recently picked up Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. I will attach a photo at some point. But this I think is more on the lines of that. It's like a retelling. That was a Tinkerbell retelling. This is something else. But it's basically what happens after Ever After. So you have Wendy. She's back in her London society. It's very, very Bridgerton-esque, like the first the first 70 pages. Like she goes to balls, her mom wants her to find a husband, and she finds a guy that's intriguing, and she is dancing with him and very, very excited, but she's always thinking about Neverland. Little does she know who this person is. This person is connected to Hook in the present, and she gets sucked back into Wonderland or Neverland, and that's where I am. I read about 25%. I am having a fun time. It's very, very quick. I think it's gonna be a fun, quick read. So I'm gonna keep reading this. I'm gonna try to get up to 150 pages because that's 50% in, and then I'll give you an update and I'll also give you a time check. Right now it is 3:22. So when I have another update, I'll give you one. But I am having a fun time with this one. It's been a while since I read a retelling. I'm happy that I picked this one up. So I will be back when I have an update for you. Bye. Hey Big Dragons, I am back. Last night I did wind up watching Eli, which is a horror movie with Sadie Sink. I did watch that. I don't really love horror movies. That one I did like. I think it went in an interesting direction, which I was fun. She was a fun character, so I'm gonna kind of catch up on her movies today. That is the goal, and then tomorrow I can start Stranger Things season 2, which is the real goal. But I like to do actor deep dives every once in a while, and the movie of John Proctor got announced, and I'm so excited. She's actually she's producing it. I really hope they let her star as Shelby because she was phenomenal in the Broadway show. But that like made my day. I was so excited for that. So I did wind up reading like a graphic novel last night. I was like, I'm trying to read before bed, and I'm just gonna pick a graphic novel and read it before bed. So I finished that, but I'll talk about that in my end of the month wrap up. But I did wind up getting up to page 150 in Wendy's Ever After. I'm really liking this book. It's very, very cute. It's very, very light. I was like, as I was reading this, I was sort of thinking, like, you could do a really, really cool project with this about retellings in a classroom. You could, like, pick, like, a retelling of, like, Peter Pan, and you could do, like, a romance, an adventure, and then, like, a horror, and have the kids pick the book that they want to read, and then do their own project. Sorry, my teacher brain was going when I was reading this, but I think this is very, very cute. Definitely a light romantasy. I would say it's a light romantasy. I said like there is definitely the potentiality of an increased romance. Right now, I would think it's like a 1-star romance, but it's like very, very, very lighthearted, very, very adventure focused, and I'm having a fun time with it. I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna be like the best book I've ever read, but it's fun. I think it uses the Peter Pan lore, and every chapter sort of has like a black page that takes text from the exact story of Peter Pan, and then the chapter kind of builds it in. But I'm enjoying it. It's really, really fun. I like the characters. I like them exploring the Peter Pan myth in another way. I like the Wendy characterization in this story. And I think it's definitely an interesting romance because it's kind of with Hook's nephew. That's like the banter that we're getting. But we also do have a Peter Pan-esque character, which I do like. So it's very much like, you know, escaping your childhood. It's also very, very Bridgerton-esque because they do talk about society and the expectations of society. So yeah, I'm about 50% into this. I'm going to try to get up to 75% and give you guys an update. I would like to go for a bike ride at some point today before it gets too hot. That is the danger of being on Long Island in the summer. It just gets so hot. But yeah, I'm going to go pick a Sadie Sink movie to watch. So that will be my next project. And when I'm done with the Sadie Sink movie and or I have got to 75% in this, I'll give you guys an update. Bye. Hi Big Dragons, I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 202 in Wendy's Ever After. I am liking this. Definitely like a light romantasy. Definitely more ill-inspired by the aftermath of Peter Pan. I am liking it though. I think that if you're looking for kind of a light romance that is a retelling, I'd recommend you pick it up. I'm going to see how it finishes. I have about 50 pages left in my arc, but I am having a fun time with it. I'm glad that I picked it up. It just came out. And I think that this is like a good, like a good YA book. Like, I think that sometimes as readers, like, I work with middle school kids. I think this is a perfect book I would give to my middle schoolers because I think that it has enough romance, it has enough action, it has enough adventure, but it's also just a sweet romance and they kind of understand the Peter Pan story. So I think this would be great for like, you know, like middle school, maybe early high school. And it's just a fun, cute read that I think has a nice basis. So once I finish the last 50 pages, I'll give you guys an update. I'm also moved on to the first Fear Street movie because I want to watch the other ones and I feel like I should probably watch them in order. But yeah, today's gonna be like a movie day where I kind of catch up, and then tomorrow I'm gonna start Stranger Things, rewatch it. I have watched it like relatively recently, but I haven't watched it all the way through, like in a way that like where I talked about in a couple of days how I watch. Like, I'll watch 5 minutes, then I'll listen to BookTube, and that's how, like, I process stuff a little bit better. So that's how I'm going to watch it. I know Melanor Reads her Patreon is also watching, which I have been doing. But I'm going to start with season 2 because that's the season that I've seen the least. Season 1 I've seen a lot of times. So yeah, I'll be back when I have an update for you. When I'm done with this, we'll give a scroll, we'll give a spin, and we'll choose another book for the rest of today. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi Fae Dragons, I am back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up finishing Wendy's Ever After by Julia Wright. I gave this book 3.75 stars. It was fun. Like, I really had a fun time with this book. It actually inspired me to like do a project potentially when I go back to work with my students because I think that they would like it. But this is like a great starting romantasy. This is a great fantasy-led story. I think that if you are a teacher and you want to introduce your kids to more fantasy-led stories with a retelling twist, this is great. I think it has a nice balance between being adventure but has that dash of romance. So if you want to like have a retelling unit in your school, this one would be a good book. It's very, very action adventure focused, but for like the girls that want a dash of romance, I think that the back, I think how Shadow Mountain pitched this, I think it's super accurate. It's like a sequel to Peter Pan with a twist, whimsical romantasy, and familiar romance trope with light, low heat level. And that's exactly what it is. It's very much potential love triangle, definitely enemies to more vibes. You basically have Captain Hook's nephew and our main character, Wendy. Wendy has to go back to Neverland for a reason, and she's kind of dealing with the after effects of her relationship with Peter and her relationship with Captain Hook. And it was just fun. I think that, like, I read Wings of Starlight earlier this month, and I really, really like that. And I think that if, you know, sometimes I will say sometimes romance readers get a little bit frustrated if you don't have a solid HEA. I don't think this has a solid HEA, but it is very Bridgerton-esque, so it kind of goes through the court conventions of that. I just liked it. I thought that it was a solid read, and again, I would really recommend this to, like, my middle schoolers that want to dip their toe into romantasy, because I think it's super appropriate, and I would put this on my bookshelf for them. So, that is where we are with that. I'm going to spin the wheel and see what I'm reading next, and then we're going to chat about what I've been watching. And yeah, so this is just a wheel of random prompts inspired by my ALA looks. Hopefully, I took the ones off I didn't want it. Ooh. Read a book for Bree's challenge. Okay, so let me find Brie's challenge, because Brie has like a 25 and 25, and have really forgot about these challenges because I've been so busy with life. Okay, I could either read a book with a 1. I'm gonna spin this one more time. I keep having issues because I keep like leaving prompts on here for other things that are just not working right now. So you're gonna see me a clip in like a couple of minutes where I'm just tell you guys how I thought about my Karen read. Okay. Okay, so this means a romantasy. Okay, I am gonna try to find a YA romantasy because that is not something I have read recently. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to chat. And then I'm going to tell you about the book I'm in the middle of reading as well. I mean, the movie I'm in the middle of watching. Okay, so a YA romantasy. Should not be that hard. Let me go find one. Okay, so I think I'm going to pick up Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches. This is the sequel to A Practical Rules for Cursed Witches, and actually a companion. It follows Kieran, the brother of that book. And I like that book quite a bit. So I think I'm going to give this one a shot. I do have a couple of others on my TBR cart, but this is the one that I'm most interested in. So I think I'm going to read like the first, let me see what chapter I'm up to. Maybe read to the first like 6 chapters and then give you guys like an update. I'm also, I just finished watching Fear Street Part 1, which was like the precursor to Sadie Sink. As I said in a couple of my other vlogs, I'm doing a Sadie Sink deep dive, and I'm watching everything she's been in before I go back and rewatch Stranger Things. I also think I might like go back and watch a few projects of Millie Bobby Brown's that I missed, just because I have the time now and like I want to do that. I'm waiting to like, I also do want to do like other show rewatches, but right now I just have a lot of time on my hands. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this one up. Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches. It's LGBTQ+. I really like the first one, though. I really like the first one quite a bit. So yeah, I'm going to pick this one up. I'm going to read the first, like, 6 chapters, and then I'm going to give you guys a time check. I'm also watching the movie that has Sadie Sink in it. She's playing Ziggy, and I'm in the middle of that. So my goal is today is to maybe make bigger progress on all of those. I really was going to go listen to an audiobook and go for a bit of a walk, but it's just too hot. So yeah, I'm going to go start this, and when I have read about 6 chapters, I will give you guys an update. Hi Fae Dragons, I am back for another update. It is like 1 o'clock. I went to yoga. I actually did finish watching the Fear Street trilogy. I think the second one is definitely my favorite, but that was a unique way to do a horror series. It kind of reminds me of what I watched, you know, what you did last summer, like that series. It kind of gave me those vibes. I do like all the actors. Obviously Sadie Sink is my favorite, but it was very, very fun. And then I read about 25% An Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches by Kayla Cottingham. This is the sequel to Practical Rules for Cursed Witches, which was last year's book. I really am liking this book. I will say, if you read the first book and you were very invested in the relationship of the brother in book 1, this book may break your heart a little bit because there is a bit of an issue at the start of the book, and I think it's probably going to lead to be a different romance. But you basically follow our main character named Kieran, who I love. He is so socially awkward, and just some of the quotes that he says is like, I don't get along with words. Like, he's just very, very socially awkward, and he has to do his curse. He has to pick a curse and, like, you know, he has to do like a quest. He has to do something that can retain his magic. His sister did hers last year, and now he's obligated to do his. So he decides, even though he's not a very, very good witch, he decides to do his to make a penance which can break any curse. And in the term, he was writing a letter to his ex who said they need a break, because Kieran is very much into everyone else's life and very, very like jealous, or very, very like wants what other people has but doesn't really look for himself. So Ash broke up with him at the start of this book, his boyfriend, and he was writing a poem to get out his feelings and get out his emotions. But he accidentally made Ash forget that he existed, or made him invisible to him. So he's going on this quest to kind of get this, to help, this is such a convoluted plot, to get something that can help him make this curse breaking occur. He has to go on 3 quests to help this witch so that he could get this panchus made. And he's teaming up with the 2 characters in the last book that were the sapphic romance in that, and a new boy. And I'm really having a fun time with it. I'm like 25% in, and it's just a fun read. It's very, very cozy. There is a quest element to this book, and I'm having a great time with it. I'm reading it really, really quickly. Sometimes I forget how much arc reading, I read so quick just because the margins are so quick. I'm really having a fun time. I love Kieran as a character. He's great. So I'm going to keep reading this, and I'm going to watch All Too Well, the short film with Sadie Sink and, oh my god, the guy from Teen Wolf. I cannot think of his name. But I'm going to watch that next, and then I'm going to move on to her other movie. I really, really, really want to start Stranger Things this week. That is the plan. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that is the plan. But I'm going to go read to 50% of this, and then I'll give you guys an update. I did not wind up listening to this for my bike ride. I was listening to a podcast, but this is for another vlog anyway. But I did wind up catching up on my podcast, which was good. So I will talk to you soon for another update. Bye. Hi, Big Dragons. I am back for another update. I did wind up getting up to page 300 in Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches. I'm really, really liking this book. This book is just like a fun time. Like, I think it's very, very delightful. It's very, very cozy. There is a quest element connected to the story, though. And I think that the romance is just so sweet. It's such like a sweet first-time romance, dabbling into what you do in a first romance, especially when you're kind of questioning everything. This main character is interesting because he has had a former relationship, but this relationship just seems deeper. We got his relationship in the background of the first book, and it came across super sweet. But as you started this book, it came across more like distant. So I think that them doing it this way, and I could almost say this is like a cozier story. Like, it's very, very contemporary leaning. There's a lot of things in here that like I could see like are pulled from contemporary life. Like, they did a game sort of like Truth or Drink, and they talked about books and reading books to kind of find your romantic desires. And I just thought that was very, very interesting and compelling. The questing, I think, is very, very, like, can be solved super quickly, but it has an emotional point to it, which I like. I like that we get to see the other characters from book one. I think that that was a fun part. It's very, very questy. It's very, very effortlessly queer. And I like that. When I say effortlessly queer, I feel like the queerness is kind of infused in the story. And I really do like this character. He's going to be, like, if I ever do that, my end of the year, this character will make that list of being my top favorite. He has so many quotes that just, like, speak to me as a person. So I'm really, really liking it. I'm also watching Odessa. I finished watching Sacrifice, which was a cult-like movie by Sadie Sink. And that was very, very good. I am a big fan of cult stuff. I've always had been. I think cults are fascinating. I was a psych major in college, so like that's probably why I'm fascinated by that stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna go read another 100 pages, and then that will be the end of this book. And then I'm gonna see how long this vlog is. I may add another book to this vlog, or I may not. We will see. And I have listened to nothing today. But my goal is to finish Odessa today, so I can start. So I could start my Stranger Things rewatch with season 2. Yeah, so that is the plan. I also went to the doctor, and my TMJ is acting up, which means I just have tightness over here, which is really, really annoying because it makes me feel like it makes me feel like I'm having like an anxiety attack, but I'm not. Just my throat's very, very tight. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm gonna go finish reading this, and then I'll come back to you guys, and hopefully we can start a new book tonight. That's always the plan, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi, Big Dragons. I just want to do a quick update. I went up finishing Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches. I'm going to give this book 5 stars. Like, I really liked it. I think it's a solid, cozy romance-y with some brief elements that I really enjoyed. Like, I had a fun time with it. It was a quick read, very, very digestible, and very, very effortlessly queer. And I think it kind of took a lot of contemporary elements, like finding yourself, questioning your sexuality, and finding like what you like and put it in a contemporary setting. You also got to see the characters from the previous book. And I think that the note in this was very, very heartfelt at the end that Kayla said. She's like, the first person you date isn't always the person you spend the rest of your life with. And I think that exploring that with Kieran in this book was very, very interesting. Because at the start there was another guy that he had been interested in book 1. But this relationship was so different. There was also some twists and turns that I didn't see coming. I really hope we get a third book in this quartet, because I just had a fun time with this world. I think it's very, very light, very, very fun, and it's definitely like a new favorite of mine. So yeah, I finished this. I have to still do my review and everything. But let me roll my dice and see what is the last book in this vlog. If I can make it a YA book, that would be even better. Oh, okay. A YA fantasy book. Okay. Well, there are a couple on my TBR. Alright, let me go take a second and let me go see the book I really want to read, and then I'll come back with you guys. Okay, so I think I'm going to pick up Thorn Season by Kara Azar. This is a book coming out in September, and it is a book that I actually have an e-arc of, so it will help me with that. I don't really know what this book's about, so I'm going to read it about 50 pages and give you guys my thoughts. And then if I want to swap it, I always can. And then this will be the last book for this vlog. So yeah, this is going to be my next book. I'm really excited. It's another YA fantasy. I've been trying to read a lot more YA fantasy. And it's also one on my tentative TBR. So I am going to go get myself organized, do all my editing and stuff. And then I think I'm going to go for a bike ride if I can sneak out without my dog getting upset. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi Big Dragons, I just want to do a quick update. I wasn't feeling my best yesterday, so I didn't really update a ton, but I did wind up getting up to page 100 in Thorn Season by Kara Azar, and I'm liking this. I am a little bit confused about this book, so to be very honest, but I do like it so far. So you basically follow this character named Alyssa, and she's a wielder, and what a wielder is they're a magical thread in your body that can kind of do things, like the background says it can pick a lock, give a loving caress, or kill a man if he knows it's around it next. And everyone fears at these people. And she is basically, like no one knows she has this ability, but people with this ability keep getting killed. And she has a best friend that basically, her father is basically entrusted to like get these people killed, and she is one. So now it's her 18th year, and she's gonna go to court to try to figure out who is killing the wielders, and there's a compass that is found that could kill these wielders, and she's entrusted to find it, but she has to go to court, and she has to sort of trust her ex-best friend who's kind of been helping people have these people die. It's a very, very politically motivated story. It is a little bit confusing. I'm only 100 pages in, so I'm willing to give the book a little bit more of a shot. I do unfortunately have to go to the dentist today, and I do probably have to go to urgent visit to see why my neck feels so swollen. But I hate the dentist. It is my least favorite doctor ever to go to, so I'm dealing with a little bit of anxiety with that. But I do need to go because I only have to go twice a year. I just hope with Ireland coming up, knock on wood, there's wood right here, that I don't have a cavity, because then I have to get it filled, and I don't really want to do that. So keep your fingers crossed. If you were following me for a very, very long time, I had like, I don't know when it was, I think it was like 2 years ago, I had like a very like complicated teeth issue where like I got a root canal, and I had like a lot of dental work for about like 6 months, and I hated it, so I really don't like dentists. But I have a new dentist that I do like, so that's good. So I will be back when I have read another either 50 or 100 pages of this. It just sort of depends. I do have to go to the dentist. I'm going to be gone for a couple hours. I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring the audiobook that I'm listening to. So when I'm back, I'll give you guys an update. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi, Big Dragons. Unfortunately, at least for the moment, I think I am going to DNF Thorn Season by Kara Azar. I am just not feeling that connected to this book, and I don't know if it's because I'm just not hitting right, but I'm not really feeling connected. I'm 154 pages in. So I'm going to pause this. I am going to put it down and do my stuff that I have to do for this book. It's just not hitting, and I'd rather read a book that I'm really, really enjoying. And that's kind of the fun time. Something about going to ALA is like you get books that you wouldn't necessarily picked up. I do have a Neck Alley book of this as well. And I think that it's fine for a love to hate romantasy. There's two main characters. I think this book is a little bit predictable, and I may give it a shot on audio in the future, but I don't want to devote any more time to it. So yeah. I also did get some fun book mail that I will just tack on to the end of this. I got The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Shuri from Little Brown. I do not remember when I requested this, but I must have. So this one came in. It comes out in October. And I also got my UK copy of A Box Full of Murders by Janice Hallett. This is a book I may take with me to Ireland with me. And I don't know if I showed this, but my copy of The Promised Queen came in. So yeah, that is where we are. I am going to wrap up this vlog because that's the problem with me going away. I'm going to have less content for you all. So yeah, I am going to go start a new vlog. I don't know what it's going to be, but I will talk to you guys soon for another video. So in this video, before I leave, I read two things. I read Arcana Academy, which I didn't love. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. I read, Wendy Ever After, which I gave 3.5 stars, and then I read Extraordinary Quest for Amateur Witches, which I gave 5 stars, and then Thorn Season was a DNF. So, but, you know, that sometimes happens. You're not going to like every book that you read. So yeah, I'll be back for another video for you soon. I'll talk to you guys later.